Look what we have here, folks. It's a full-on cargo bike, long tail. It's called a Haul LT, made by Specialized in their Globe line of bikes. I did a really cool review on the ST, the short tail version over here, so click on that if you're interested. But this one is a $3,500 full-on cargo bike, you know, the classic definition of cargo bike. But before we get into that, if you're new here, this is E-MTB review. I'm Francis, specializing on electric mountain bikes, also commuter bikes, cargo bikes, and all the components and accessories that are involved with the subject. So subscribe, comment, and watch till the end if you want to help the channel out. And something that will really help us out is we do have an affiliate relationship now with many companies, including Specialized Globe. So if you want to purchase this, just click on the link in the description, pick it up from your local dealer, and we get a tiny cut of the action, and it will help us provide more videos for you. The long tail. Many suspected it was going to come because the short tail was like a special bike, but we were like, it didn't quite, wasn't the classic fit in the category, and most people have two kids and want a solution for that. So this is $3,500, and it's very, very similar to the ST. So I'm going to put a lot of my footage. They're 90% the same. You know, obviously the big difference is this has a much longer rear. $2,800 for that one, $3,500 for this one. The other details is it has a massive battery, a 772 watt-hour battery, good for about 60 miles on a fairly level ground, and it has a motor, big motor, and that one is about 900 watts average, but really peaks out in about 1,100-1,200 watts. It is so powerful. It's just amazing how much power a hub motor can have, and it is coupled with a torque sensor here, so it senses how much work you're putting in, so it can add assist power proportionally to your effort. Other key details are it has small wheels, 20-inch little BMX style, but 3.5, so pretty fat. So that gives this thing a low center of gravity, fat tires, so it has traction and some cushioning, and it's also a one-size-fits-all. And what they've done to do that's not easy to accomplish, but they have a lot of database in the Retool Fit database. So they have a telescoping seat post. This is like $550. Most of the time you just use one of the quick releases to do this, but if you need more adjustability than this, then you use the other quick release. The other one is it has a quill stem. You know, those old mountain bikes had this kind of stem, so this can raise up to here, so super cool. And then the bars, don't forget the bars, you could twist it like this to extend your reach. And they have a step-through frame, you know, pretty cool, because as a cargo bike, you don't really want to be stepping over the back. There might be some cargo, your kids might be there and whatnot, right? A few more details, a lifetime warranty on the frame. This frame is basically like a truck chassis. You just attach a bunch of stuff to that, so it needs to be tough. It has a 2-year warranty on the rest of the stuff. But what's unique about it, it has no throttle when it's shipped to you, but you can buy one optionally. So it assists you 5 levels of assist to 28 miles an hour. And like I said, torque sensor, so it's a very proportional assist, much like your Specialized Levo or Trek Rail. Okay, finally, what makes this bike unique is it's kind of a canvas, you know, kind of a sprinter van or a truck. You optimize it, you customize it to your needs. So as it comes, I'll have a picture of it there, basically, but it does have this rear rack right here, and it has all these fenders, and a lot of these are options. The front rack, the front basket, these cool caves where you could put your Costco bags and whatnot. This is a seat right here and a handle, so a lot of options. You know, you do have a kickstand that's a center mounted, very wide and very stable, and you do have a bell, and you have a light system that's really cool, 1500 lumens on the front with a very managed wide beam and a 50 lumen rear. They are positioned optimally, like low to the ground, so you can see shadows and contours and whatnot. So that's the basics of the bike. Now I'm going to get to the pros and cons. I'm going to analyze this bike in many different ways. I'm going to start with the merits of it and then go into the cons or the weaknesses. All right, number one way I review these bikes, these e-bikes, is how does it handle? Is it a bike or is it a little scooter or mini moto, so to speak? And I think in this category, this is where this bike excels over many other cargo bikes. It is a bike first. You know, they worked on the handling, the ergonomics, the engineering first and foremost. So I in my travels 3 months ago, I went to Taiwan, to Taichung, and I visited their factory. And because I was there for some other business, I said, hey, let me drop by. So I did a ride with those guys. They were all on like S-Works road bikes, including Mike Senior, the CEO, and they gave me this bike. I'm like, okay, we're doing a road ride. And what's really cool about this road ride is I was riding up on him, enough power to do this 1,000-foot hill overlooking the city. And even though I just had my sneakers and whatnot, and so no problems. And I was able to just chit chat and navigate to the front, to the back, and whatnot. And I wasn't in the way. But when it came to the descent, I had to descend 1,000 feet of road. Right, this handles well. You know, I wasn't in any danger. The brakes are prodigious. You know, there's no other way to describe it. It's just amazing. They're Tektro brakes with 200 mil rotors, but when you have a 20-inch wheel instead of a 29, it just gives that brake so much more bite and grab because there's not a huge angle of momentum. You know, trying to break the brake free. The other part of it is with the torque sensor. It's really cool. You really get a workout. You're able to participate in the biking part of it, and I think a lot of people now are looking for that. If you wanted a moped or a scooter, just go get that, or go get a scooter. This one, I think a lot of the market, they really want to help, but a lot of bikes, they don't really want you to help. You just spin the pedals, and then the bike just takes off on you. And then after a while, you're like, what's the point of pedaling? But this one, you could really get into it. And in the 5 modes, I would be in mode 2, and it would be just like riding a normal bike. But I can go to 30 miles an hour or 28 miles an hour if I put on about 150 watts of energy. So it's a real bike, and I love it. And in addition, you extend your range. You know, the range of the bike comes from 2 places, from the battery and from your legs. And if it encourages you to work and get a little bit of a workout, it extends the range as much as you want. Okay, the next part of the evaluation is how is the motor. You know, these are e-bikes. How is the motor? Does it have enough power? Is it smooth? Is it quiet and whatnot? And it is very smooth. Very impressed. Let me turn it on right now so you can at least hear it. As soon as you turn it on, the lights turn on, which is really cool. I'll explain that in a second. And so there is your throttle. And this throttle is one of the best. You can really maintain speed, you know, 6 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour. It has enough resolution. You know, there's so much power. And you'll see in my test, I was climbing up this 12% hill. Unclimbable really, but what I did was, you know, I just got a little running start to it. You know, I pedaled full power, and you can see how fast it's going. I actually climbed a 1,000-foot hill here called Montebello, and you know, with this bike, and it's just amazing. So, and then the other next thing I did, I didn't even pedal. I didn't help out. I just went like this, and sure, it climbed the 12% hill as well. Of course, the cargo was not loaded, but that's just impressive. On the downside, it does get loud. You know, it is not a quiet motor, and when it's under load, man, this thing screams much louder than that. The next point of evaluation is the cargo carrying capacity. This is a cargo bike after all, and I believe the cargo capacity is 440 pounds, including the bike and the rider. So I would say you have 200 pounds to work with. The bike itself, I'm not clear on what the weight is. I think it's over 100 pounds. It is very heavy because the short tail is about 80 pounds. And this is before you start adding all this, these bins and storage and whatnot. So a lot of capacity. This rack, my friend sat on it and he's very heavy. It's fine. But I think it's rated to like 80 pounds. This tray right here is rated to 177 pounds. So many options, configurations. And for the long tail, they have a couple new configurations as well. You know, you could have footboards, you could have a cage, so your kids can be in there all protected. A lot of cargo carrying capacity. It's just staggering. They also have a MIK system here, so you just click it. This bin will just click. It'll click here too. And what's cool about that is you could buy the real rail and you can put it on anything. You can put it on your cooler, you can put it on your dog crate and whatnot. So everything just click, 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 and you're good. Okay, now I'm gonna go through the details. These are cargo bike or e-bike details. Number one, the next one is the kickstand. How good is the kickstand? It is A+. It is amazing. So you always want a center-mounted kickstand, and you do need a kickstand for a bike like this. You're just not gonna lean this over or put it on the ground. It's hard to even pick up off the ground. So it's a center-mounted kickstand, and it has these feet to stabilize it. Your kids can hop on maybe, and there is a learning curve to putting it on the stand and taking it off. Basically, to take it off, you just push it forward. But learn that technique, and it will go a long way. Next thing is the lights. The lights are impressive. 1500 lumens on the front, 50 lumens on the rear, and they're really cool. Nice beam pattern. But what I'm even more impressed with is the fact that now we have the bright. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Low, medium, high. Now we're 1500 lumens. Jesus, that is bright. And we have a low. I think we have a flash, and a little glowing thing. A little strobing thing. Nothing is perfect, and even though I get a commission on these things, I'll tell you the weaknesses or things I didn't like. First thing is a heavy bike. I mean, cargo bike, it should be heavy, right? But this is really heavy. I mean, this is a truck chassis. I think it's 100 pounds. You know, I can't really lift it. I can maybe lift it an inch off the ground, and I'm super proud, but it's a heavy bike. The fact that it's hard to maneuver, that's just the nature of a cargo bike. So I'm not going to complain about that. Next, weakness is a little expensive. I think the Globe Haul ST, the short tail, is a great deal at $2,800. Specialized quality. This is all premium quality stuff, saddle, everything. This one is $3,500, so it's $700 more than the short tail. And what changed? What changed is your chassis is a little longer, and your rear what do you call that? Tray rack is a little longer. So is that worth $700? It would be nice to be at $3,200 or $3,300. But still at $3,500, it's still competitive with what's out in the market. Next weakness is the ride is rough. Oh man, you feel everything. You go through railroad tracks and whatnot. There's two things that will help you. One is this long tail is a smoother ride than the short tail. Long wheelbase, you got kind of a limo. Smooths out the road a little more. The next thing is tire pressure. Tire pressure is essential for controlling your ride quality. So you can get into 12 psi. Don't go 20. That'll be really rough. But 12, 13, and if you don't have a lot of cargo and you want the super smooth ride, then you go to 8 or 9. As long as you're not slamming the rim to the ground, I think you're going to be fine. So definitely control your ride quality with your tire pressure. And finally, my last nit is the cool caves are they are quite noisy. They're like drums. And then I did tear one of them. I'm not sure what happened. Right here, right in the corner. I'm not sure you can see that. I can repair it, but obviously they'll back it up. Specialized is great with warranty. So there you go. It is a bike, a fun bike, a useful bike, a car replacement bike, and it's really the more you can embed it, ingrain it with your lifestyle. Take your precious goods. For me, it's my RC cars. I can load 8 RC cars in there, and then go to the rock crawl or the track or whatnot. Put my drone and whatnot. Then it really makes sense because you could just park right up against the action, not use your car and whatnot, and put this in your garage to unload and whatnot. Thanks a ton, everybody.